Welcome guys to another episode of Filmmaking Times Live. My name is Tom Antos, and as always I got Lucas here with us.
Hello everyone.
Hopefully you guys can hear and see us okay, so let us know. We're back in the studio. That's because I was away shooting a project, so I couldn't do the show last week. Although I joined in for a little bit. I tried my best, but the connection was horrible. Anyway, so today we're going to continue that show. So last week's topic was movie trailers, right, Lucas?
Yeah, we had as our pick of our favorite trailers, and then we talked about why we like them, and also what how just shared advice about how you want to approach editing a trailer. Because, and I guess one thing that kind of came out of it was that it's much. There's a different approach, I guess, you want to take with trailers. And Tom, you were saying that somebody who is a good film editor might not necessarily be a good trailer editor, or vice versa. It's like a different set of skills. So there's a lot to be. Even if you're good at editing, there's something to learn from people who edit trailers for a living.
Yep, I definitely think that, because I know I'm speaking from my own experience. I think it's sort of, I guess, like knowing how to drive a car. You can be very good at driving a car, but not driving in every situation. You don't know how to. Maybe you might be good at driving on, I don't know, snowy conditions, but you might not be good at driving on sand or things like that. You kind of have to have experience in that. So if you're an editor that kind of really trains and edits, I would say has experience basically in editing films and trailers and music videos and stuff, and maybe you're really good at doing all those things. But I find from my experience, but also from working with some editors that I've worked at, especially like doing music videos, the people who are, let's say, very good at doing music videos, they're not always the best at editing films, and vice versa. Same thing with trailers. So yeah, so that's kind of my logic behind it.
And the other reason we want to watch want to keep going with these trailers is just so much fun to look at your favorite trailers. Oh, yeah. But usually, if it's a good trailer, it's a film probably that they also,
and how they changed over the years too, right?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. It's how trailers are being made now than they used to be. But overall, just like nice quick look back. Like I probably, as most people, rarely go back when we rewatch a movie, right? But it's in the trailer. You kind of get to bring all all those memories back, all the feeling you had when you watched that movie in 2-3 minute video. So it's a pretty cool way to spend your time, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless you're a German fan and maybe you're watching right now the World Cup, maybe you prefer that. But if you are a film buff, you might enjoy this show today we have for you.
Yeah, actually, when is Poland playing?
They're playing on Tuesday, so I'm debating whether I let my kids stay at home to watch it or not. They're still young, so I don't. If they were older, I would for sure say go to school. But since one of them is in the kindergarten, the other one in grade 1, so maybe we'll see.
Oh, okay.
If they want, maybe they'll stay at home, and I'll have to send them a note to school that Poland was playing, so they had to stay.
All right, so today's show, what is it about? Like I said, trailers, but we're also going to announce the winner of this week's giveaway. For those of you who don't know or are not watching the show regularly, we do a giveaway every week for up to $500 camera gear. All that info and how you can enter the giveaway is in the link in the description of this video. So just check it out, and very simple to enter. So we're going to do that, and anything else, Lucas, am I missing?
Well, I wanted to... Well, I always will take questions. If you guys have any questions for Tom, but I have one question for Tom right now.
Oh.
You've been missing in action for, I think it was a week and a half in France, Belgium. You were in the trenches.
Yeah, I was.
Can you share kind of how the whole shoot went? Yeah.
I mean, it was we shot a documentary for the Canadian, I guess, Veterans Association, but it's actually True Patriot Love was the foundation. So we got to travel to France, Belgium, various sites of basically where Canadians fought, sacrificed their lives in World War One. It was kind of interesting because I've never been to that part of the world, also, but also it was interesting because it was working with a team I've never worked with before, and we got to actually travel with like the ex-major general of all Canadian Armed Forces, plus the some actually we had two veterans with us that joined us that had a kind of personal connection to World War One, two through their relatives, and it was just it was interesting on that aspect, but it was also interesting because of kind of how we shot it. And those of you who have been asking me about my actual full review of the DJI Mavic Air, it's going to be coming soon, and I actually have a lot of cool examples I shot there in France and Belgium on that drone. And the reason was because it was we were kind of moving all over the place, like literally every day it would be up in a bus driving to this location, that location, and we had not that much time on most of those locations, so we had to pretty much was me. I had one assistant most of the time, and it was just kind of very quickly set up, get this shot, get that shot, so it was kind of run and gun. And so that drone actually, if you wait for my full review, you want to see like all the little details of good and the bad. But overall, I'm very happy I brought that drone. It's, DJI Mavic Air is the smallest one right now that has, I think, professional or like still usable, quality 4K video that you can use in a professional application. And honestly, without that drone, it's I would not be able to do a lot of the cool stuff that we were able to get for that documentary. So that was kind of cool. Other than that, yeah, it was like a fun project, fun people. Can't wait to see how it's all gonna come together and when it's edited and all that stuff. And I'll probably be posting some like little snippets here and there, like definitely when I'm doing again the review of the Mavic Air or something. I'll show you some of the footage so you guys can see. I might even do a tutorial because I posted some of like the behind the scenes footage on Instagram and some shots there. Those of you guys who don't know, I have Instagram. I've had it for a few years, so follow me there. And yeah, I've been posting like live all these things from Instagram and doing even like an Instagram live. And there was a lot of people asking me about the interview setups that I had in there. So I might even do, I don't know, maybe a tutorial showing you kind of what I use for these quick, run and gun interviews, but where you still want it to look, professional, cinematic and all that stuff. So again, more videos in the future. And then aside from that, it's I guess Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. To our father, I know definitely want to say Happy Father's Day, even though he passed away years ago. But always remember him on most of the days, especially on a day like today. But also, it's kind of nice to be back home, like I said, from all this work, and to actually get to spend today, or at least the rest of the day, with my kids and my wife. So it's gonna be nice. Lucas, any plans?
No, not really sure. I already got I got a bunch of gifts from my kids in the morning, so that was really cool to see.
Oh yeah, okay. Actually, I got gifts too this morning. So
yeah, my kids, especially my 7-year-old one, she's really creative, likes to. So she was helping. They made a whole bunch of stuff for me, and she was helping the younger siblings. And yeah, it's a nice, for sure, nice keepsakes,
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, for the afternoon, I'm not really sure what we'll do.
No plans?
My wife wants to watch some World Cup games.
Okay.
Even though her team does not playing, but Ecuador this time is missing in action. But she's cheering for all the Latin American countries. So
or for Spain, I'm guessing, right? Too.
I think it's. I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually. But for Costa Rica lost today, so she was sad about that, and so on. So she is really into the games. I'm waiting for Tuesday for the Polish game. But
let us know, guys, which team you're rooting for, in the World Cup, or which team you think is gonna win. Anyways, let's get back on topic. So trailers, right, Lucas? We want to start showing the first trailer.
Yeah, you'll have to press the play button, but the first one is, so now we'll go into comedies, because comedies are, well, I think they require a different approach than other genres, right? When you're cutting a trailer, and also just like for me, it seems a very daunting, difficult thing to cut a comedy trailer. So, but maybe let's watch couple of them, and then we can maybe just share our thoughts about what's so challenging about doing a comedy trailer.
All right, and here's first one. Oh, hold on. Having a little problem here with switching. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me rewind, and we are gonna be back. Yeah, there. I believe we are back.
Have you ever felt...
I'm Bruce Nolan for Eyewitness News.
Hey, Wacky Bruce!
...unappreciated?
In the newsroom, we don't wear hairnets.
God.
Why do you hate me?
Have you ever thought life
What are you doing over there?
was unfair? Have you ever complained about it?
So God is picking on you?
What is that? The only one around here not doing his job is you!
You must be Bruce.
Who are you?
I'm God.
Please. Okay, how many fingers am I holding up?
7.
Aha!
You've been doing a lot of complaining about me, Bruce. You think you can do it better, so here's your chance. When you leave this building, you will be endowed with all my powers.
On May 23rd...
Funny, I woke up this morning and I swear my boobs felt bigger. Do they look bigger to you?
Bigger...
Having fun?
From the director of Liar Liar...
You took the job, Bruce. I suggest you get to it.
You've got prayers.
comes the story of supreme power...
Never seen the moon that big.
We really shouldn't waste it.
divine intervention...
Sam?
and proof
I'm Evan Baxter, and here's what's making news.
that heaven has a wicked sense of humor.
It looks like my new co-anchor may need a glass of water.
Jim Carrey
You had my powers for a little over a week. How many people have you helped? But I guess you can't now, being dead and all.
I'm dead?
Nah, I'm just messing with you.
Bruce Almighty.
All right. So, Lucas, what do you think?
Well, the movie, the trailer got me to go to the cinema. It worked. Yeah. But yeah, it worked for sure. But it's a big part of it. I guess there's a few things playing here. But one is, you see Jim Carrey. Probably most people will not be the first time. It was not the first time they saw Jim Carrey when they saw this trailer. So the big thing was, I think it's easier to
well, I guess the star power. I mean, Jim Carrey, Morgan Freeman, Jennifer Aniston, right? All of those people.
Yeah. So that's one. But I mean, for me, I don't know whether I'm really drawn like some. Depends how it's marketed. Like, if I don't think I'm that drawn in terms of like a star power. It's more about do I like the personality? Do I like the films that this actor usually picks? So that big thing is, some actors just like different types of stories, and they will not do certain films. So that's where maybe, we see this actor, that's a signal for you. Okay, yeah, I do like, I will probably like that movie, right? But for me, it's, I think, so the challenge with comedy, I think, is, you can have very funny moments and so on, but comedy is so tricky, right? And then in the trailer, if you're going to just cut these little pieces, show these little pieces, these lines, right, that maybe are very funny, but because they're so short, they're taken out of context. There's a good chance people will not get them, right? Even when you think about comedy on television, sometimes to get the jokes, you need to follow a series to get the characters, the dynamic of it, right?
Yeah.
So then imagine,
I guess it depends then what type of comedy. I mean, there's some comedies I'm sure that, like some films that's all they are. They're kind of like these slapstick kind of comedy or like one-liners. And there might be great comedies, but they don't have so much like this development and this backstory that you need to know. And then in that case, I would think it's easier to cut the trailer. Like for me, even though this trailer is 15 years old now, what worked for me is that, like you said, it just had these quick little lines or moments, like the dog going to pee, or like him abusing all these little powers and stuff that he has. It just kind of like I said, it's just and of course Jim Carrey making his Jim Carrey faces. It just, you know, that in itself makes you want to, I think makes you want to see the movie. Now, it is actually, even though it's 15 years old, it still feels fairly modern in terms of, like, it's pretty fast-paced and all that stuff. I did notice that voiceover, that, you know, that trailer movie voiceover guy, it's changed since then. Now I guess it's like different thing. Or I guess maybe there's not as many trailers now being done where you hear that voice narrating a trailer. But I know, like, in the 90s and I guess early 2000s, it was, like, common. And that guy was on, like, seems like most of the trailers, at least.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's been slowly kind of dying out, the use of voiceovers.
Yeah.
So, especially for action. I mean, yeah, last week we showed, for example, two trailers from Braveheart, when one was this, the original one, right? Which was, again, this big, you know, deep voice and which now it sounds cheesy. And then there was this modern trailer that I think the studio did it for the release of the Blu-ray, and that did not have, it was almost the same shots, but did not have the voiceover, and just felt so much better for, you know, taste changes and so on.
Okay.
So yeah, we missed that one at the beginning of the last week's show, but so that's, yeah, use of the voiceover that's been changing, and it might come back and so on. Although I don't think, you know, it cannot be. Yeah, it's difficult not to make it cheesy, I think. So that's the challenge of using voiceovers. But so with this trailer, basically, you know, I think, as you said, with, you know, it depends on the type of comedy. Some comedy, it's very natural. You can just do this little, you know, snippets. You can show it in the trailer, and people will get the comedy. But oftentimes, you know, again, it needs to build up the context, right? So that's one of the challenges of comedy. And then the other thing is with Jim Carrey, for example. When it's an actor, you already know, not just like, but you know, like, you know, the type of comedy that this actor brings. And again, it makes it much easier. So again, people familiar with Jim Carrey,
they have a backstory, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so in a way, it's not a brand new character. It's sort of like a character that you know, repeats, right? You've seen before.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. But the big thing for, you know, I think that makes this trailer, you know, work well is just the concept of the whole movie was great. The hook is just amazing. So by pretty much the hook itself is right away makes you think, oh man, I want to see what happens, because there are all these possibilities that come into your mind, right, when you think about this hook, the setup. So that's a big thing, you know. Sometimes, you know, sometimes it's all about the idea, the hook, right?
Yeah.
But that, in that case, that for sure was playing to the advantage of the trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe let's go to the next one. Now, the next one is Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
And that one is a kind of including it as a comedy. Some people, I guess,
it is. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, the movie is kind of weird because it's
violent.
It's crazy violent sometimes. There's, you know, language and all that stuff, but at the same time, yeah, sometimes it's just this weird twisted comedy, I guess I would almost call it.
For sure, dark comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it probably crosses. Yeah, it's a film that probably shouldn't be put in any genre. It's a unique film.
Yeah. All right, then let's watch it then.
Yeah.
Is proud to present one of the most celebrated motion pictures of the year. The winner of the 1994 Palme d'Or, the best picture of the Cannes Film Festival.
Come on, let's get in character. Why are you so interested in Big Man's wife? Well, he's going out of town, Florida, and he asked me if I'd take care of her while he's gone. Take care? No, man. Just show her a good time, make sure she don't get lonely. Girl, you see, this is a moral test of oneself.
I do believe Marcellus, my husband, your boss, told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted.
Whether or not you can maintain loyalty.
Night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. Pride only hurts, it never helps. In the fifth, your ass goes down.
I have to say, you play with matches, you get burned.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal.
We're in a lot of danger, aren't we?
I'm prepared to scour the earth for that night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? Get down, get down.
You got a corpse in a car, minus the head in the garage. Take me to it.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
uncomfortable silences.
John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Maria de Medeiros, Ving Rhames, Eric Stoltz, Rosanna Arquette, Christopher Walken, and Bruce Willis.
Looking at something, friend? Ain't my friend, Luca.
Die, you mother!
A new film directed by Quentin Tarantino. Pulp Fiction.
You really thinking about quitting?
Most definitely.
What's you gonna do then?
Basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean walk the earth?
You know, like Kane in Kung Fu.
So definitely, you know, you can see, I would say, in this trailer that it's a lot older, right, Lucas? What would you say?
It's older, but I think it's kind of on purpose older, no? Like even back then, didn't it feel a bit old at that time? It was supposed to be retro.
Yeah, maybe I'm forgetting the thing. I mean, well, I guess one for me the thing is just this trailer is it's like the resolution of it and the film, like the stock is kind of you know, it's not the best quality. It's not like when you're shooting on digital these days or even on film where it just looks really nice. So that's one thing. I would say, but also just, I don't know. You know, first of all, you had that, you know, trailer voice, and then you have these like big titles, you know, Quentin Tarantino and all that stuff. It's kind of, but they're not looking. I don't know. It's just something about it. Like, you know, now everything looks more slick, sounds better, I think. So that's one thing. But definitely just the quality of the film itself, like the film stock and the colors and everything, is just. It shows you that it was, you know, again, like I said, shot on film and back in the day kind of thing. So that's one thing for me. But it is in a way, yeah. I mean, this film is a little bit, I would say, almost timeless in the sense that it's basically, like I said, it's you know, it's kind of even, you know, I guess, like you said, even in those days in the 90s when it came out, it was a little bit, I guess, reminiscent of times before that and the music choices and all that stuff that Tarantino went with. So I guess it's kind of hard to judge. I didn't like, though, I gotta be honest, with the whole intro where you see all that text and Cannes Film Festival, and I kind of get why they did it. It was supposed to be this joke that it's this big, you know, film that accomplished all these things, while at the same time also showing off these accomplishments. But then they suddenly cut to, you know, the music and then all these ridiculous things happening. So I kind of get what they were thinking, but to me, I would say these days, I guess like the biggest no. It's just, you don't do that. Don't start off a trailer with all this text and just a voiceover, right? It just doesn't look exciting. You want to right away start with that, you know, that cool music and all that stuff. So. Yeah,
for me, first of all, I don't think that you know, any trailer could do justice to this movie. You know, just because it's so unique.
Well, yeah.
So that's one thing. Now, with the beginning, I actually think, for me, the joke works. So again, as I started watching it, I thought, oh, this is cheesy, you know. And then you hear those those shots, right?
Yeah.
Gunshots, and then I get, oh, it's a joke. And then so for me, it was like, it was fine. I was just
no. I mean, I get the joke. I'm just saying I don't think it's a good marketing strategy these days, because it's, you know, like these days you put a trailer on YouTube or anything really on YouTube, and you better have like something cool to deliver right in the first few, you know, basically seconds even, or people are just not gonna watch it, right? Especially when you have like pre-roll ads and stuff like that, people are just gonna skip it. So that's what I'm saying is, like, if you started off with that, most people would not even bother watching the trailer.
That's true. But okay. And the other thing, though, that works well in the trailer is the music, right? And again,
yeah, exactly.
Like, music was a big part of the movie, and also made the trailer also really good. So that kind of made you, just because it was going to different times in music history, and you know, I was pulling out some cool classics, you know, and also the fact that it was kind of, you know, combining this, you know, images, these scenes that were violent with this music that you wouldn't normally expect, you know, like that's probably, you didn't associate that music with these violent scenes or this violent story. So that played really well. Like for me though, the video,
like for me, but you look at the text, like those graphics, and you have this words, loyalty, crime, like that was also cheesy to me. Like these days, even though it's a cool trailer and stuff, like, you know, definitely if you were to recut this, you know, the trailer for this film, I would say, like, you know, you got to cut that out, like that text coming in, and just, I don't know, I don't think that's good.
For me, it was too long. Like once there was a moment there after I think 2.5-3 minutes, I should have stopped. and then they kind of started when they started to cutting all these quick, because before they had these bigger, longer pieces of scenes, and then they started to really cut into like quick shots, no, and it was too much. At that point, I kind of was losing interest, because there's no way you're going to, like how much it's you just need to get people excited, give them a hook, but like how much more do you need to see of it? I think at this point it's like you should be done. You should be done pretty much.
It definitely, though, wouldn't you say that it felt like a comedy almost? Like, I would say even more than the actual film is.
Yeah, it felt funnier, more lighthearted than the movie, because in the movie you have that beginning scene, for example, in the restaurant, right? Yeah. It's really intense. Like when I watched it, I was like shocked, right, the first time. Yeah. And so you don't get that at all in the movie, and especially with the music and so on. It feels like, oh, it's a comedy, and it's for sure, it was not. There's violence in the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of, and I would even say that the trailer is, especially like you said towards the end, it like really speeds up. Seems like all this crazy action and stuff, and they show you that car, being hit, somebody shooting and stuff. But in reality, the whole film is actually not. It's kind of slow. There's a lot of dialogue, and it's cool dialogue. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but if you watch this trailer thinking, "Oh my God, it's gonna be so exciting," you're gonna be kind of, I think, disappointed, because it's again, it's not a. And I actually remember the first time I watched Pulp Fiction, I didn't watch it all the way through, and I was I think I just got bored with it, but might have been because I've watched that trailer and I felt, my God, it's this exciting kind of a gangster action thing, and it wasn't. It's very slow, a lot of talking, as these musical like moments and stuff, scenes, and then like I said, like there's the beginning when before they actually shoot the first scene where there's not shooting, it takes so long, and then once they shoot, it's very quick. They just shoot at this guy and that's it. And that when they go whatever in that little apartment, and then for example the car hitting again, and the trailer, it's all cut together, so it feels like one thing happens after another, but again it's like nothing happens, and then there's this whole thing where this guy is just driving a car, very casual, there's no action, nothing, and just out of nowhere he gets hit, T-boned, and then he has to get out of the car and stuff. So it's like that's what I mean, is like the movie doesn't really have action and this big intensity. It's more about the characters and the kind of mood and all that stuff and things. So it's not the best representative, I would say, the trailer. But I guess at the end of the day, if it gets people to watch the movie, I mean, I guess it does a good job. I don't know. Although today I think I would have definitely wanted to like visualize some of the other things, cool characteristics about the film. Not so much try to pretend and show to people that, oh, there's action, there's comedy, all this stuff, because it's got funny things, lines and moments. It's got some things that happen, but there's definitely no action, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I think we should move on, because we might not finish today with the trailers.
Well, I mean, you have a long list here, so...
yeah, we always start talking.
Do we have any questions here?
There's a comment here, so I wanted to just share that comment with from Bart Johnson Productions. He's saying that Tarantino has a habit of making... his trailers look like comedies. That Bart says that his wife was went to see Inglourious Basterds and she was shocked that when she saw the first scalping, so she was not prepared. She thought it was a comedy, I guess, and then again it was a violent movie,
Yeah, you definitely want to be careful with that stuff. All right. So next one is Independence Day, and maybe you can introduce it quickly while I'm just kind of bringing it up here.
Okay, well, movie was a big hit. I remember the lines, outside of cinemas and so on.
So when you went, when you went to see it, were you like super excited? Were you like, oh my God, I got a thing after seeing the trailer? Do you remember?
No, I did not go, because when there's like this craze, that's when I like to stay away. I don't go, just as I don't know, just try to be contrarian or something like that, because I didn't go, even though in the trailers look good. And back then, Bruce Willis, Will Smith, he was was his big film, but he still wasn't. That film made him the big star in terms of the cinema. He was well known because of his television work, but I was, so that film still wasn't. It was like a film that didn't have the star power. It was more about everything, all the elements, and I think the marketing of that movie was really good. very great, and the trailers played a lot to the success of this movie, and the visual effects and so on was a big emphasis on it, and the concept was cool. So yeah, I remember the buzz that the film got, when it was released in cinemas. So I picked it for that reason. Even though later on I watched the movie and I enjoyed it, but it's not my typical movie that I would watch. But I think I want to show it because it kind of exemplifies what I like in the trailers. So
okay, all right, so let's watch it.
Well.
Wow, it's been a while too. I didn't even realize that it was 1996 then. But also, yeah, it's just it's a good trailer. I would still say to this day, it's because it stays away from some of this cheesiness, and even though it has that text, it's very, again, it's not cheesy. It's not like, power or love or something. It's just like, I don't know. It just says, July 4th, day we fight back, whatever, and then it just kind of counts it day by day, and there's nobody talking in the trailer. It's just pure visuals, but there are some shots, like it starts with very simple shots, and then it kind of builds up to these, especially in those days, epic effect shots, and then that iconic kind of shocking image at the end where I'm pretty sure up to that point of this trailer, nobody's ever shown the White House being blown up like that. So it did, I remember when I watched it, I was like, wow, okay. I was like, I didn't even know exactly what's going to happen in the movie, but I was just like, they come and they're doing this, okay, I got to see how we fight back, because that's all it ends with, and then you kind of go, okay, but how do you fight back against, something like that? And so yeah, it made me just, again, that mystery made me curious, and yeah, I wanted to see it. And in the end, I mean, it was kind of your typical cheesy kind of action thing, but it had good action, good humor, I think, good jokes. So I enjoyed the movie, and I think the trailer did a really good job. I mean, like you said, it was a big commercial success, right? So
oh yeah, for sure.
So I guess it worked.
Maybe you should blame it for all these films that followed, all these disaster.
That was for sure.
Effects that was because they made so much money on this movie that
that was the movie that began all of that stuff. Yeah, all the disaster movies after that started coming out. I remember, and they kind of, I would say, reused that formula of both the trailers, but also even the hook and everything. I mean, like, it seemed like there was so many movies that came out after this one that had the exact same kind of characters and this and that. They just replaced the actor, replaced the name, but it was almost identical. So in that sense, I think this movie was kind of revolutionary and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think the overall the marketing of this film was amazing, and I saw a 2-minute version of this of a trailer for this movie, and also it worked well.
Yeah.
Just I'm not sure whether it added, showed you a little more of action. That it has, I mean, you get that from the short one too, but it was still good in that it did not give away, still just put questions in your mind, got you excited, but not give away, how the story progressed, because once you watch the movie, you realize, okay, kind of the way things happened in the movie, it was conventional, right?
Uh-huh.
But developed the intrigue, the hook very well, and so I picked this one because I think, just looking at the best, what some people were considering the best trailers. For example, IndieWire has a good article, and I put the reference for that article in our video from previous week, so you can check that article out. But what I saw is that the videos that are like the trailers that are up to a minute, really they play well in terms of getting you excited, getting you intrigued, and not giving away the story, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like that is like a good number to shoot at. If the main goal is to just intrigue people, because sometimes distributors, they want to do more than that. I'm not sure whether, I guess distributors from their experience that is a good idea. For me, oftentimes I'm like, I'll watch a trailer and it's interesting, but then I feel like I've watched the movie before and I don't go, right? So sometimes I feel like if they stopped it halfway or after a minute, I would have gone to see that movie. But maybe it's just a very personal thing, right? So maybe as a business thing, it doesn't. There is a value in creating longer trailers. But I think for me, that's like, of all the trailers we showed, it's, even though the movie, it's not by far not my favorite movie, but I think it's a good example of a trailer that works, right?
Yeah.
And does it very economically in 1 minute. So the next.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, I would say is that it's 1 minute, and that's pretty revolutionary. Yeah.
Right, and then I guess as you were saying, like these days, our attention span is even shorter than before. So these days, this trailer would still play well in terms of its length. Now, Trevor here he was saying that the effects now look dated. Tom, as a
yeah, I mean,
effects guy,
they're still decent effects, and it's not that I think it could be. They would just be pushed, I would say, even further these days, right? They would be done even slightly better. But I don't think it's it's to say that it's bad or something. But yeah.
Okay, so here is another next trailer. Trailer is Tom, if you can get ready with the
just give me a second here, because we lost people here on Facebook. For some reason the Facebook stream just stopped.
I think it was a while ago, Tom, that we.
No, I know that. Yeah, so that's why I'm just letting people know the show is still continuing. So just before I do this, I just want to let people know here.
So okay, so the next movie is the Blair Witch Project. And I've never actually watched this movie, and I heard about it because again, this was I think it was an even bigger craze than Independence Day. Well, maybe bigger in terms of with Independence Day. I saw what people got excited about with the Blair Witch Project. For me, seemed like I did not consider going to see it because it felt like, I don't know, I suspected it would not be a good experience, cinema experience. And so anyway, if any of you guys watching right now did watch the movie, let us know what you remember about the Blair Witch Project when it was being marketed. And then if you did go to see, whether you felt that the film delivered. But for sure, the movie was a big winner in terms of the financial side.
Oh, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's watch the trailer. I got it ready finally, so.
Okay.
All right.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom. I am so sorry. Because it is my fault. Because it was my project. I am so scared.
So definitely oh my god, it almost makes me like now, especially watching it after all these years, it definitely makes you realize how sometimes less is more, right? That saying, because in this one, I mean, most of it is just like black screen and text, and then you just have that one shot of somebody crying, and that's literally all. But it sets it up so wonderfully, and I know for me when I watched it, and that was a big thing, like between my friends and stuff, this debate of, is this real? Was there really a documentary like that? And then of course there were stories coming out. Oh no, it's not. It was just what I mean. So all that stuff, it makes you again. I think a good trailer will, especially for like more kind of suspenseful kind of films, or action like the Independence Day, will make you kind of it will create more questions than answers in your head. So you kind of feel like, okay, I want to answer these questions. And the only way you can do it is by watching it, right? So I know in here I was really like, okay, what is this project first of all, and what exactly happened? But also, is this for real? Did these students really get lost and think? Because it seems like a true story, right? Almost.
Now the only bad thing about learning from a trailer like that is, a trick like that can be really played like once, or maybe once a generation, because once I guess people will, young people will grow up, they'll, if they were not exposed to this kind of marketing, then they might go for it again, right? But that's the only bad thing, that you can, I don't know whether you want to copy this approach that they took, maybe some elements, you want to use it, but because I mean there were many films that have kind of copied the marketing of the Blair Witch Project. But yeah, I mean, it's a unique, not just trailer, but a unique marketing campaign.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, do we have any feedback here other than my daughter bombing my, the video stream? No, I don't see any feedback. So I think let's go to the next one now. This next one, Tom, is the Red Eye from 2005, and it's a movie I have not seen, but just researching trailers, I just saw it. I was like, oh man, if I had seen that trailer, I would be, I was intrigued, and I would have probably made the effort to see it either in cinemas, or nowadays it's mostly me watching at home, just because I have small kids, so it's more difficult to go to a movie that's not for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good one, and it's one example of a short trailer. And then I actually watched a longer version of a trailer for this movie, and once I saw what the whole setup. In the longer trailer, reveals more, you kind of get a good sense of what the setup is, and then it kind of ruined it for me, the longer version. After if I had seen the longer version, I would not be interested.
Okay,
so it did become conventional. So yeah, again, I guess less is more sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Oh.
The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading. All passengers, please proceed to the international departure.
Attention passengers, flight 1019 has been delayed.
Oh my God! Oh, I am so sorry.
So are you on this?
Very delayed flight to Miami. Yep. You?
Sadly, yes.
That's why God created the Tex-Mex. That's nachos in the airport.
Save your seat.
Oh, Hi.
What do you have?
To always looking forward.
Cheers. Hi. That's actually my seat.
You're kidding. You're not kidding. So what are the odds, huh?
I know.
You're not stalking me, are you?
No. So what do you do?
Lisa. Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Okay. What is it about?
But the question is, are you curious to find out?
Yeah, yes and no, because I'm almost thinking like, okay, it's like a cheesy. It's gonna end up. I'm worrying it's gonna end up being like some cheesy really concept, but it's just like, oh, they really try to build it up, and then I'm like, it actually is about a red eye. Like I see like the shot of a red eye, and then I'm like, what? Okay, and then I know it's Wes Craven's. I'm like, it's gonna be probably like some just like over the top kind of horror. Which if you love horror, then Wes Craven is great. I'm not a big fan of horror genre in general, so I'm not a big fan of his films, but
Yeah, so I don't know. So to me, I almost feel like it might end up being like just a waste of time, I guess. Okay, it's just you're too suspicious about movies like that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, at least
it does definitely kind of draw you in. I would say the whole beginning until they show that whole that eye something turning, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is, and then after that, like I said, some people might be like, okay, I want to find out. I'm kind of more because I'm not a fan of horror, so I guess that's so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. Yeah, I think that I can see how that image of the red eye right away lets you know. Okay, this is not like a drama, which that becomes where you have some very intense scenes, and this is like for sure genre movie, right? And which is good, I guess, makes sense. You don't want to, if that's what the movie is, you don't want to deceive people, but at the same time, kind of it will turn some people off. But anyway, it's like normally for sure I would not watch a movie like that, but I just felt that the trailer was done well enough where I was intrigued. And I don't know, maybe we can get to like this little conversation we've had is about how for trailers for sure there is benefit of having shorter trailers and showing less, but I guess it all extends not just to trailers, but how we were talking about like what's the good approach when you go to film festivals. We had a discussion, I think it was 2 weeks ago, with Clint D'Souza about the strategy when going to festivals, and also I had a conversation with you about just heard this advice from a producer, successful producer, where basically when we're trying to sell a movie not just to the viewers, but you're trying to raise money or go to festivals and you're trying to again find distribution and so on, is sometimes you want to really limit what you show. So sometimes, for example, the advice was that I heard was that sometimes you want to maybe just show 1, 2 images, like forget trailers, nothing. Just try to build up intrigue and and it also depends, kind of names you have, because if you have no names in your movie, then it becomes really difficult, right? So you might need to sell people on the concept, right, on the genre, on the hook of the movie. But otherwise, that seems also, the idea of like not really exposing people to your story too much might be good, not just when it comes to trailers, but actually when you go to festivals, when you're trying to raise money from investors. Not sure whether you want to add anything to that.
No, I mean, I would say yes, but then there's, like, not that it's a rule, but how it is. It's always exceptions to every rule, I guess, again. Because again, I would say there's some cases where you do wanna like if you just show because there's so many movies, for example, that don't have this big twist or like a hook, right, that you can sell in the trailer. Like if you have that hook, like Independence Day, or Blair Witch Project or things like that, or even even Almighty, like if you have that cool hook, then you can just show that in the trailer, and it's like, wow, okay, people will make people want to watch. But there's so many movies that are just good movies, but when you just tell them, what it's about, it's but I don't know, a couple that meets and falls in love. Like, okay, I mean,
so it's a perfect time to go to the next trailer, because that's like a perfect example of what you're talking about.
All right, okay, so let's watch that. Yeah.
Little Children. Do you have it ready?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. And here it is.
Something really beautiful.
Something for my mommy.
It's the hunger for an alternative, and the refusal to accept a life of unhappiness. Aaron's been telling me about his new friend Lucy. She sounds like a sweet little girl. What's her mother like?
Wow. Okay. You did a good job picking the trailers, Lucas. I gotta tell you guys, Lucas is the one who picked these trailers, and I've never seen or heard about this movie. I like Kate Winslet. She's done a lot of great films, and this actually makes me want to see it. And it is, I guess, like at the end of the day, like, yeah, it looks like like marital cheating affairs, whatever, that kind of thing, and story that I guess you've seen in a lot of movies before. But the trailer really is well done. I mean, I gotta say that there's no cheesy voiceover. There's no like weird titles and nothing. And this is still from 12 years ago. So it just makes me want to watch it. So interesting thing. Have you seen the movie, Lucas?
Like a perfect example of a movie that it's probably conventional, right? And in a good way. Like for me, it's a film I would be interested in. Probably my wife too. And it's about relationships. Probably it's keeps things real, right?
Yeah.
But films like that are challenging, kind of can be challenging to cut trailer for. But this film it was kind of it was exciting or intriguing, exciting. Like you felt the tension, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder how the tension actually plays out in the movie. It might not feel as packed. Right, but
that's the only thing I would say that kind of makes me a little bit worried about this thing is that because the trailer really makes it feel like this intense moment between this couple, and then this woman that enters the picture. But again, if the movie is nothing like it, then again, like the trailer might do its job, as in it might make somebody want to watch the movie, but then they might actually hate the movie because they're expecting all that tension and stuff. And if the movie doesn't have that tension, might still be a good movie. Then it's just So I mean, it's interesting. I'm gonna give this movie probably a watch. I'll try to.
I also want to watch it too. Actually, when I put it on my list. Here, there's a few points I wanted to make in terms of like again, I was sharing some advice last week about how you want to approach cutting trailers. So I just want to just talk a few points and maybe Tommy can add to that. But one thing that advice from editors who actually cut trailers for a living, who specialize in it, they were saying that you want to like know your content inside out. Because again, I guess depends. Many indie projects, the director, filmmaker, if you're going to be also doing the trailer, then I guess it by heart everything. But just keeping in mind, oftentimes people who edit trailers on these bigger projects, they're not familiar because they were not involved right from the beginning. So if you're not familiar, if you're not super familiar with the the whole shoot, the footage, then you gotta become an expert. So you want to for sure rewatch. You want to also categorize, like you want to organize your all the footage well. So sometimes by actor, kind of what kind of a shot it is, wide shots, like different, whatever it makes, because it depends really, what categories you'll pick. It depends on what kind of trailer you're making, what genre you're working on. But whatever categories make sense for you, like organized shots in those categories, and then you can quickly reference, and because then you'll get ideas like, oh man, this moment could use really shot, line from this actor, and it explains the story well, and you have all the lines for that actor in one spot, one timeline, and then it's very easy to pull it out. So you have to be an expert.
Well, I mean, that's one thing. When I attempted, editing our own trailers and stuff, is that you definitely want to first, like you got to be very good, aware of all the material in the film, and even I would even say footage that maybe doesn't end up in the final film, but like you said, you might have like some scene that was cut out, but maybe the actor again, maybe there's dialogue in there that really explains the story very well, and maybe that's the reason why it didn't make it into film, but it might be perfect for the trailer. So you really want to be aware of all that. It's definitely, even though it's such a short thing, and now like especially for like TV or for internet, a lot of these trailers now are going to be a minute or under, but you still gotta be able to like watch hours and hours of footage so you can squeeze it into that, all the best moments and audio and all that stuff. So definitely want to be aware of. We're coming towards the end of the show, so maybe we can announce the winner, Lucas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So the winner we already picked. So again, this idea this week we did a bit differently.
Yeah.
Because the last, we started a month ago, 4 weeks ago, right? This contest, and it's so right now it's up to this point. It's been random. You just you leave a comment on the website, submit the submission form, send us a submission form, and we pick randomly, right? But for the last week, we wanted to actually pick our favorite comment. So the winner of this week is Salim Madjd, Madjd. So I'm going to put that in the chat so everybody knows the winner.
And yeah, we can contact him, and then next week are we starting again from like are we resetting the?
Yeah, just a moment.
Okay.
And okay, and then so the prize value is up to $150. Okay. So originally we said it would be $50, but we were able actually to increase it because some of the previous winners, they did not get the maximum value that they could. So thank you for leaving some extra money.
Yeah, and also
we'll contact.
And so congratulations, Saeed, and like I said, it's we're gonna continue though. So for those of you guys who are just joining the show, if you want to have a chance at winning the thing, the giveaway next week, just enter again.
So the next week, the prize value goes up to $500. Up to $500. So good time to enter. Now, everybody who already contributed comments up to this moment, up to yesterday midnight, then you need to submit again, make another comment to become eligible for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, because it basically resets every month, right?
So yeah, we are resetting today Sunday at midnight, when we started today.
And also there's another reason to submit, but also another reason to join, because next week I think we're going to have a really fun episode. And that's because we got a interesting guest, Philip Bloom. I'm sure those of you guys who are avid filmmakers, you probably know already of Philip's work. But also, like I said, he's going to be there. We're going to talk about different skills and camera gear knowledge and all that stuff. But for today's show, I actually have another guest that wanted to just make an appearance before we finish. So here he is. What's up, buddy? What do you want to say? What do you got? Anything interesting to say? No?
I think I also hear a four-legged visitor.
Oh yeah, everybody's here. The whole family came down for a thing. It's for Father's Day, and you can see he's got the Magic T-shirt, my wife's idea. So I think one day I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna have an outfit ready, and it's gonna be identical. I think my wife is gonna do it where we're gonna have identical pants, everything, so we can look like little twins. So he looks like my little mini me. So
just
we're gonna spend.
He needs the beard.
Oh well, that he has to still wait a little bit for that. But all right, you go run, and yeah, let's finish the show because I actually want to just spend a nice, relaxing Father's Day today with the family too. So hopefully you guys will get to do the same. Spend some time with family, relax, and like I said, join us for next week. So you can ask questions to Philip Bloom. We're gonna again pick another winner for the giveaway, so make sure you guys enter and all that cool stuff. And like I said, I think it's just gonna be an interesting topic. So that's the good thing. So anyway, see you guys I guess next week.
Just wanted to add, if people have any questions for next week, then well, just let us know so we can ask them on your behalf.
And also, today again, we had so many cool things to show with the trailers. So we didn't really have any we didn't show any of your video submissions. But for next week, if you guys submit something interesting, then I'll try to basically get it on air so that Philip can actually watch your work and also give you feedback. So whether it's something work in progress or maybe a project that you finished that you want to show off and you want Phil to look at it, maybe give his opinion, again, submit it to the show. So I guess it's going to be a fun show. I'm actually excited for it. I want to see kind of, how, just kind of chit chat with Phil about, like I said, the topic of the show, which is skills and filmmaking gear knowledge, and kind of maybe the balance between the two, how important it is to know both, or is one maybe more important than other, and things like that. So anyways, anything else, Lucas, that I might have missed?
No, just happy Father's Day, and
and that's it.
See you next week.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.